Another beautiful day to be a Raider. Draped in the silver and black. I represent the shield. I represent the swords. It's that time when I begin, Raider Nation. And you come back. Why? Because it's time. It's time to bring them.
Happy Black Friday! What's up, Raider Nation? Oh yeah, you know what time it is. It's Black Friday. And what does that mean? It's time to dust off another classic from the Raider archives. As we dip back in our silver and black time machine once again. But this time, we're going back 3 years into the past. As a blooming Derek Carr started to show you what he could do.
In Spanish,
So we take you
using the SAP button on your television
to 2015.
Won the toss. They have deferred. The Jets will
To the
receive.
Bay.
So they will take a look at Sebastian Janikowski.
Jets.
Is returning
Raiders.
running back Zach Spacey. An absolutely perfect game for football in the Bay Area. The temperature in the mid-60s. There's a little bit of a breeze. And as you can see, sunny skies. The Raiders, the Jets, and away we go from Oakland. And Spacey will bring it out. Brought down by Taylor Mays, hit by Taiwan Jones, and returns at 21 yards. Here are the Jets, led by quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick. He had a season-high 295 passing yards last week in New England.
Kim, this guy is capable of getting on a roll, and he's putting up some big numbers. He's streaky, I would say that. We saw him last November throw for 6 touchdowns against Tennessee, but the good defense around him, the production in the running game has really helped him through the first 7 weeks of the season.
And Brandon Marshall, 1st and 10, brought down by quarterback DJ Hayden. He's out to the 23-yard line and picks up 8 right there. Well, we talked about Wesley Johnson with Alex's report on the sideline. First career start. The offensive line has allowed the fewest sacks so far this season. Running back Chris Ivory is nursing a hamstring today. He is starting. He comes into the weekend, the number 3 running back in rush yards per game. With a 2nd down and 2. Ivory, Khalil Mack comes through, knocks him down. That's a loss of 3 on the play, back to the 20-yard line. It's a big defensive line for Oakland as they welcome back nose tackle Justin Ellis from injury. Dan Williams has been a key in the 3rd-ranked Raider run defense. Malcolm Smith is coming off his best game with an interception and a sack last week at San Diego. The secondary work in progress. Charles Woodson is the headliner. David Emerson was signed off the street a couple weeks ago and starts. Jeremy Curley will be the extra wide receiver here. With the injuries to Devin Smith, Owusu was cut after a 2nd concussion. 3rd down and 5. Fitzpatrick, and that is caught. And close to a 1st down, grabbed by the aforementioned Curley. He's out to the 26. He picks up 6 on 3rd and 5. It is a Jets 1st down.
And with the addition of Brandon Marshall and Derek Decker a year ago, this has really helped, I think, Jeremy Curley's production, Kevin. He's much better inside in the slot, especially in these 3rd down situations.
Chan Gailey is the offensive coordinator for the Jets. Runs the number 8 offense. 3rd and rushing. 1st and 10. Ivory. And this time Malcolm Smith along with Anderson have a beat on him and a loss of 2 back to the 23-yard line.
Well, one player they can't afford to be without is Nick Mangold's missed just 3 games and 10 seasons on the job. And he's really where the communication hub for that offensive line starts. And so, Kevin, I think it's really important that Wesley Johnson get off to a good start. Doesn't have a lot of experience. Think about how significant being strong down the middle is. He's got to make all those calls in the running game and the protection scheme as well.
Second down and 12 for Fitzpatrick. Another quick slant. It's the tight end Cumberland who falls at about the 31. Brought down by Woodson. Gain of 7 on the play. They don't throw to the tight end much, but he caught one right there. And here's the book on Wesley Johnson. He played at Vanderbilt where he had a record number of starts in the Southeastern Conference.
Yeah, again, Kim just doesn't have the experience. They brought him up in the practice squad. He was with the team last year. That's a good thing. So I think he is familiar with the line and some of the terminology. I'm sure Nick's been very helpful with him this week, but this is a big position to be in. And keep in mind, he's got big Dan Williams lined up in front of him. Not an easy task.
6 defensive backs for the Raiders. 3rd down and 5 for Fitzpatrick. Pressure. He gets away. He needs the 36, and he's got the first down. And he hits the deck. Woodson brings him down. 43-yard line. Scramble of 12 on 3rd and 5. Another Jets first down in the opening drive.
Well, Fitzpatrick, he can and he will run. He's slippery in the pocket. He does a nice job.
What's up, Raider Nation? Thanks for joining us again on Black Friday. As every Friday on Raider Reaction is Black Friday. I am the Commish. This is the Silver and Black Theater. You have Jets at Raiders 2015.
Who is on a knee, as you can see.
For tonight's slice of Friday night Raider action.
The backup is Geno Smith, who had his jaw broken in preseason by a former teammate and has not taken a snap in the regular season this year. Let's look at Fitzpatrick.
Looks like his left thumb, Kevin. Looking at the replay, looks like Charles Woodson comes in there and hits him with the helmet. And again, Geno Smith, you know the story with him. He gets punched in the jaw and in training camp. Just keep an eye on that left wrist, left thumb. So everyone on the sidelines getting it taped up as we speak.
Bryce Petty, who is the rookie out of Baylor, their 4th round pick, he also has not taken a snap in the regular season. He is inactive today. This is Geno Smith. Started 13 or 14 games a season ago, 60% thrower, 13 touchdowns, Rich, and 13 interceptions for the 2014 Jets. 7th play of the drive. With the 1st and 10, this is Ivory. A block from Giacomini. He's to midfield with a run to the 50-yard line. Brought down in the play by Curtis Lofton on a gain of 7.
Well, Ken, we're going to find out about Geno Smith's preparation.
We already need,
you know, that's right. We see a lot of these guys come in and get a lot of work during the course of the week. But I always say one of the hardest things to do is prepare as a backup quarterback. You don't get a lot of reps, but you got to stay in the playbook. You got to know your assignments. You got to be able to go out there in a moment's notice and function in the system.
With a 2nd down and 3, a block by Davis. They go outside with Ivory and again swarmed under. Brought down this time by Alden Smith. The former 49er brings it back to the 47-yard line with a loss of 2.
Well, where the Raiders are so much better is their run defense. They're currently 3rd against the run, giving up just 84 yards a game. They do a good job getting penetration up inside, forcing Ivory to the sideline.
It's already the 3rd time in the game he's been thrown for a loss.
Yeah, they're so much better. The addition of Alden Smith, you combine him with what they have with Mack on the other side and Edwards and Williams inside. It's a pretty good front.
Stacy is in. Geno Smith. And he's got Curley, who breaks 1 tackle of carry. He gets by Woodson and crawls to the 30-yard line. It's a catch and run at 23 for the Jets. Curley makes a 1st down to the 30 of Oakland.
We talk about the young center getting off to a good start, Kevin. How about Geno Smith getting off to a good start? His first throw puts it in a great spot for Jeremy Curley in front of Carey, where only he can catch it. Gets Curley to the transition of the run.
Curley was a 5th round pick out of TCU 5 years ago. Had a touchdown reception against New England last week. It's a 1st and 10, the opening drive. Smith They give to the running back. Ivory is brought down by Justin Ellis, who is healthy today after missing some time with an ankle injury. On a gain of 6, we're still awaiting word on Fitzpatrick and talking to the medical staff on the sideline for the Jets.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, Kevin, to see him back in the game at some point. You know, unless, of course, you would think if there was a problem in terms of a fracture or something that he'd head to the locker room. He's staying out there, he's getting it looked at, getting the tape, talking to the orthopedic doctor.
The second down and 4, Ivory again blocked by Davis, and he submarines to about the 20. Brought down by Asante in the secondary, and a gain of 3 and very close to a Jets first down.
You just watch that, keep an eye on that left thumb. It's like Woodson gets in there and just
got caught maybe on the jersey or something.
Kind of an awkward fall. We do right away.
3rd and long, they stack up Ivory. Coming through, knocking him backwards, Mario Edwards Jr., the rookie from Florida State, loss of a yard back to the 22. And the field goal unit will take the field for the Jets.
You can see the penetration right inside. They do a great job stuffing that A-gap between the center and guard, and you're going to see Mario Edwards Jr., he just squeezes down for the easy tackle.
Here's Nick Folk, who last week against the Patriots was 3 of 3. Here's a 40-yard field goal try, with the hole coming from Ryan Quigley, who missed last week because of an injury. A 40-yarder to take a lead. About halfway through the first, the Jets on top. 3-0 on a drive that started back at their 15, but we don't know about their starting quarterback, Fitzpatrick. A timeout, 7:16 in the first. They continue to work on Fitzpatrick, who was injured on the first drive. A good-looking drive for the Jets, who get 3 on it.
Really was. Really nice job by Geno Smith. Kevin coming in and not missing a beat, keeping this thing moving. A nice throw to Curley on 3rd down for a 23-yard gain. Looks very comfortable.
Nick Folk has the feed on number 35. Two-back is Taiwan Jones. And away he goes. Third running back comes into a thicket of players. Look like Aaron Henderson made the stop inside on the special teams with a 22-yard return. It's Derek Carr, second-year quarterback. Timeout.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Charles Schwab. Own your tomorrow. And by Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Available November 6th.
Got a field goal already from the Jets. There's Derek Carr, threw 3 touchdown passes last week at San Diego with a 1st and 10 in the zone 22.
That's it.
Right to work. Going deep and looking for Cooper. It was covered by Revis. They were getting some help on top from Marcus Williams, the safety. Let's now take a look at the offensive line. Rodney Hudson, the top pass blocking center in pro football. Left side of that line, very good. They all open up room for running back Latavius Murray. Came on strong at the end of last season. He's picked up this year over 4.5 yards per carry. 2nd down and 10.
I think that first play tells you a little bit about how they feel about their matchups. They're very confident. They went right after Revis on the first play.
With a 2nd down and 10. Carr, Crabtree, and Wilkerson from behind nails them at about the 28-yard line on a gain of 6. The Jet defense, number 2 in the NFL. And the defensive line is the story there. Wilkerson and company have been very stingy. Really, the front 7 has been terrific. Linebacking led by David Harris. We talked about the Revis-Cooper matchup. Deion Bailey for the injured Calvin Pryor today. In the New York secondary. Here is a 3rd down and 4. Ed Hockley.
Neutral zone infraction, defense, number 96. That 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
They got the wrong number. I think it's actually 92.
You're right.
The rookie, Leonard Williams. Good job by Carr changing up the snap count.
Last week against San Diego, this Oakland offense scored in the first 7 possessions. A very impressive offensive tape to watch.
What's up?
It's Murray for the first time with a block from Jackson. He takes it near the 36-yard line for the Raiders on the run. And he was brought down by Wilkerson after a gain of 3.
Kevin, you mentioned last week, they were red hot last week against the Chargers. I think it all seemed to come together offensively for the Raiders. They scored on their first 7 possessions, as you point out. They didn't have to punt until midway through the 3rd quarter. Jack Del Rio just feels like this group, it's starting to finally fit. You know, you go out and get the quarterback last year. You go out and add 2 receivers in Cooper and Crabtree this offseason. And the offensive line has played a lot better in front of Derek Carr.
Reese in the backfield. 2nd down and 7 for Carr. To the hands of Crabtree. Then the ricochet pulled in for a first down. That's Cooper. Brought down by the linebacker Davis. It's a gain of 12 with a little bit of luck. And a first down to the 48.
It's been in the right place at the right time to try to get to Crabtree. It's not there. And there's Amari Cooper for the easy catch.
You take him any way you can get him, right?
Any way you can get him. And this Amari Cooper, Kevin, he is a terrific talent. You know, just in talking with Revis, he's got great respect for the rookie. He is a very smooth and confident route runner.
Number 4 overall pick in Alabama. All-time leading receiver down in Tuscaloosa. 1st and 10. Good block by 10. Buys time. That's Crabtree. Knocked out of bounds by the quarterback, Antonio Cromartie. He's to the 43-yard line of the Jets in a gain of 9.
Well, the strength of this offense right now is the quarterback and the receivers. And you really see the improvement, Kevin, from Derek Carr from year 1 to year 2. Playing with so much more confidence. He's playing faster from under center. He's got a much better command of the offense.
And he trusts the guys around him. He's got a better supporting cast, huh?
He's got some real talent and speed at the wide receiver position. And they're going to go after, believe me, they're going to go after Revis and Cromartie. They're not going to back down.
2nd and 1. Murray blocked by Rivera, the tight end. He gets by screen. He broke another tackle, and down he goes. Marcus Williams couldn't get him. It's a 26-yard run all the way to the 17-yard line of the Jets. Latavius Murray.
Well, just a little toss to Murray to get him out on the edge. Look at the blocking, though, on the perimeter. All these receivers are willing to go in there and block the bigger defensive lineman. You get the pull from Carpenter. Really like Latavius Murray. Very upright running style, but he's bigger than you think. 6'3", 230 pounds. Nice combination of speed and quickness.
12 men in the field on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Well, Murray has had some big games. One against Cleveland for 139. He's from Nedrow, New York. Onondaga Central High School. That's where he grew up, and that's where he played his high school ball in college, Central Florida. Now he's in the NFL with the Raiders. So 12 men on the field, 1st and 5 from the 12. With a couple of tight ends.
Teddy. There's it.
Carr, they come up the middle. And incomplete for Crabtree. And he was guarded in the secondary by Cromartie.
And the pressure really forced Carr to get this one out a little bit early. You can see a good look here. Wilkerson's right up in his face, so he can't really drive the ball like he wants to, and sails a little bit on him, and it gives Cromartie a chance to get in there with that right hand and knock it away from Crabtree.
Cooper, the wide receiver, may be the big name on offense, but they have not thrown to him yet this season in the red zone. 2nd down and 5.
Louie, what's up?
Murray. In the middle he goes, running inside. Brought down by Calvin Pace. It is a gain of 5. He's down to the 6.
Kevin, you mentioned Cooper there in the red zone. He's got 33 receptions. He's been targeted 50 times, but not a single red zone target. Crabtree's another guy. 5 red zone targets, but no catches in this part of the field. Most of the receptions have gone to the backs. They like to throw it to the running backs down in this part of the field.
Andre Holmes with another receiver in there. 1st and goal at the 6.
Now! Louie, what's up?
Murray again. There's not a lot there. Rich, on that offensive line, we're talking about improved players, more weapons for Carr. 3 new starters on the offensive line this season for the Raiders.
Yeah, keep an eye on the center and the left guard. Rodney Hudson came over in free agency from Kansas City. Gabe Jackson was their 3rd-round pick a year ago. These guys play hard. They're extremely physical, and they bring a lot of toughness to this offensive line.
Jackson and Penn and Hudson all in the top 5 via Pro Football Focus in pass blocking this year. 2nd down and goal at the 5, and the 10th play of the Raider drive. After the Jets had a good drive, they got 3 at the other end.
What's up?
Blitz.
Carr, Holmes, touchdown.
Well, you're going to see the blitz. They're just going to throw the quick fade up top. They get the one-on-one matchup. Buster screen, he's got his head turned towards the line of scrimmage. He never sees the ball leave the hand of Derek Carr.
Holmes with his 5th catch of the season, 2nd touchdown reception. Waved by New England, vacuumed in by the Oakland Raiders. And he just put Oakland on top on the opening drive for the Raiders today in a 10-play, 78-yarder. Janikowski gives them a 7-3 lead. 1:56 to go in the first. The Raiders with a good-looking drive as Derek Carr throws his 12th touchdown pass of the season. Thursday, your weekend starts with the Backyard Brawl. The Browns, the Bengals, Thursday Night Football. Only on NFL Network.
But Andy Dalton, he's having a great year.
He sure is. Got a tough one today with Pittsburgh, with Rich Gannon and Alex Flanagan on our sideline. Kevin Harlan, we've just seen a 10-play drive orchestrated by quarterback Derek Carr. There was a big run, too, by Murray of 26 yards. That was the key play. A 5-yard touchdown pass. Now the subsequent kickoff by Janikowski, and Stacy lets it go over his head and out of the end zone. It looks like Geno Smith, but let's see who's going to be the quarterback. I think Geno Smith will be back out there, and 1:56 to go in the first.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the awarded Rewarding Jeep Grand Cherokee. And by CenturyLink, your link to what's next.
Geno Smith is out there for the injured quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick. Going to report momentarily. First down and 10 after the kickoff. From the 20 on the touchback. And Smith will fire. Incomplete, looking for Marshall. Flag is thrown. Coverage by Hayden at about the 35. It's a hold, and it's on the Raiders.
Pass interference defense, number 25. The ball is placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
It's on Hayden. Alex, what do you have downstairs?
Yeah, well, Ryan Fitzpatrick obviously on the sidelines. The Jets are calling it a left hand injury and saying his return is questionable. He spent a significant amount of time with the Jets head team doctor wrapping it and re-wrapping what looked like the thumb, and then tried to kind of maneuver it and decided not to go. I think the big question is not his throwing, but the snaps, right? Rich being able to take them under center and in the shotgun.
Absolutely, Al. Just being able to grip the ball.
It's Ivory on 1st and 10. Minimal gain, about a yard on the play. Bottom of the pile, Malcolm Smith.
You know, the thumb is probably the worst injury you could have, you know, as a thrower, even if it's the left thumb, because
right.
Everything you do, even in terms of the handing the football off, you know, as you extend the runs to the left with your left hand. I mean, it's very, very difficult to do that. You see he wears his wedding band on that left finger as well, but you could tell right away he was clutching at that left thumb.
2nd down and 9.
Go.
Smith, and that's incomplete, looking for Brandon Marshall. Rich, what does this do to the game plan of the Jets with the new quarterback who, as you mentioned earlier, has probably not taken a lot of first-team snaps?
Well, you could just see, Kevin, the last couple throws, the timing and the rhythm is off in the passing game. And the other thing is I think the game plan changes significantly. Remember now, he missed so much practice time early this season, and the history together of the offensive coordinator, Chan Gailey, and Ryan Fitzpatrick. Remember, they were together in Buffalo. They have a history together. Geno Smith and Chan Gailey don't have a history together. So this is really going to put a lot of pressure, I think, on the play caller to really dial in when he thinks Geno Smith is capable and comfortable doing.
Kimbrell Tompkins across the middle. On 3rd and 9. Hit at the 40. Everybody there to greet him on that shot, including Charles Woodson on a gain of 4. And that's not going to be enough, and the Jets will send their punting unit out.
The one thing that will really take a hit is the passing game. Fitzpatrick is a much better passer from the pocket than is Geno Smith. He's a much more comfortable guy in the pocket and a guy that can handle more volume in the system.
Ryan Quigley is in there. Remember last week it was Steve Weatherford who had to replace the injured Quigley with the shin injury. Quigley is back. And deep back for the Raiders is T.J. Carey. On the 22, and a nice special teams tackle right there. Turned in by the Jets. Darren Walls, 2-yard return, 38-yard punt. Tomorrow on CBS, see why Supergirl is TV's #1 news show. Critics call it fantastically super and just plain fun. Don't miss a new episode of Supergirl tomorrow at 8, 7 Central. Only CBS. After a 3-play punt possession by the Jets with Geno Smith as the quarterback, it's the second possession for the Raiders. It's a 1st and 10, and this is Murray. He was brought down by linebacker David Harris on a gain of 6 near the 30.
But David Harris, a very good player. I've always had great respect for how he plays the game. Leads the team in tackles once again, and it really shouldn't come as any surprise considering he's led the team in tackles in 7 of the last 8 seasons. He's the one that makes all the calls in the middle of that defense.
Rich, the front 7 of the Jets, terrific.
Absolutely. Second in total defense to make it very difficult to run the ball against this front.
First quarter has come to a close in the Bay Area. Couple second-place teams in their respective divisions today. A look at the first quarter numbers after 15 minutes of play here in Oakland, California. It is a 2nd down and 4 for the Raiders on their own 30-yard line. Ryan Fitzpatrick has been knocked out of the game for the Jets. Marcel Reese gets by Cromartie. Then tiptoes up the sideline, and let's see where they say he stepped out of play. They're going to mark him back at the 31-yard line, gain of 2.
Marcel Reese is the best receiving fullback in football, if that's the proper term. I mean, this guy's 6'1", he's 250 pounds, he's got very soft hands, and he can make people miss in the open field.
He was a receiver at the University of Washington.
And he's been a Pro Bowl fullback for them for a couple years now. Very talented player, gives him great versatility.
Olawale's in the backfield, 3rd and 2 for Carr. Cooper dances with Revis, has the first, 38-yard line. Picks up 7.
You know, I thought it was very interesting when we sat down with Darrelle Revis when he talked about Amari Cooper. He has great praise for the rookie. In fact, he said that he already feels that he's one of the best wide receivers in the league. That's saying something when it comes from a guy like Darrelle Revis.
And he is #1 in the NFL. And you were talking about this last night. #1 in the NFL out of all players receiving in yards after catch.
He's a tough tackle in the open field. I think it's because of his quickness, his suddenness once he gets the ball in his hands.
What's that? 1st and 10, 39, Jones. Not a lot outside. He was brought down by Demario Davis after a gain of 2 near the 41.
Well, you talked about the fact that this defense is ranked top 5 in 8 major defensive categories. Not very many weaknesses, but where they're really difficult is trying to run the football up inside. And I think you're seeing a lot of perimeter runs early, Kevin, when you look at what the Raiders have tried to do with both Tywan Jones as well as Latavius Murray.
There's a look at Todd Bowles. You can see defensive coordinator down in Arizona for a couple years. Had been an interim head coach in Miami earlier in his career. 2nd down and 8, Carr. And he's got Cooper once again. Revis bumping him out of bounds. And down to the Jets 48, gain of 11, 1st down.
Well, we talked about this matchup. Go right after him on the very first play of the game, and he's got him if Carr would have kept it on the field. But I think, you know, you just look at Revis. He knows that he has his work cut out for him today against a young receiver that's really kind of splashed onto the scene. He doesn't play like a rookie, Kevin. He doesn't act like a rookie. He just looks very comfortable out there going up against Revis.
Very polished. Now, 1st and 10. What's up? Look at the blocking. Underneath, Murray. A block by Smith, the tight end, and a tackle is made by linebacker David Harris after a gain of 6 to the 42 of the Jets.
This is a really good play by a young quarterback, Kevin. They're trying to take a shot down the field, and it's not there, and he does the next best thing. He gets a completion. Look, they're trying to run this double post down the field, and it's not there, and he winds up finding the completion in the flat. This is good patience by a young quarterback. See, it's not there. They've got it covered, and he comes right back underneath and picks up some positive yardage on first down.
Into the nickel secondary, second down and 4. They hand off to Murray with a nice tackle made on that line by Duzable. And no gain on the play. They'll stick at the 42.
Well, they make it very difficult to run the football. First against the run, 71 yards a game, allowing just 3.4 yards per carry, which is the lowest in the league. Todd Bowles, even last year in Arizona, it's always been a staple for him. They make it very difficult for you to run the football. In fact, Brady and the Patriots didn't even really try last week. 54 pass attempts from Brady and the Patriots.
Carr to the 34. Crabtree for Marty. First down. At the 36-yard line, it is a gain of 5. Crabtree, a former Bolitnikoff winner in college. First-round pick by San Francisco, now a Raider.
I've been so impressed with how quickly the ball comes out of Derek Carr's hands. He can get the ball out of his passing grip and out so quickly. It reminds me a little bit of Rodgers and Brady. His get-off time is really fast, especially with the quick game.
Yeah, the first thing you mentioned this week after watching tape on him, the ball is out of there quick.
He is a rhythm passer. He's hit his last 6 straight. Not a lot of indecision. Makes his decision to get the ball out quickly.
What's up? Murray on first and 10. Olawale with the block, but that did not stop the linebacker. Trailing him is David Harris with no gain on the play. They stay at the 36.
Well, this is a great hit. Sometimes you don't necessarily need to see it. You can just kind of feel it and hear it. It's a good form check. We talked about Murray's kind of an upright runner. Linebackers love those kind of running backs. He puts his helmet right in his chest.
Harris has led the defense in tackles 7 of the last 8 years. Back in 09, second team All-Pro. Packers that linebacking core. Second down and 10. 10th play of the drive. More time. On the money. Crabtree. Oh, they couldn't bring him down. Touchdown.
Really great protection. That's the one thing that's really improved. Their protection. Carr's got plenty of time. He's just going to float this one over the linebacker right in the hands of Crabtree. Now he's got plenty of room. Support tackling. Crabtree not an easy guy to get on the ground.
Marcus Williams in the secondary has blown 2 tackles already in this game. One on Murray, right there on Crabtree. Right there you saw Davis and Cromartie couldn't bring him down. 36-yard touchdown pass. The second today by Carr. Janikowski. 14-3, the Raiders. Crabtree with his 3rd touchdown reception of the season. 2nd in a row. Broke 3 tackles on the way to the end zone. And his quarterback, Derek Carr, loved it. But you were talking about the confidence that Carr is showing. When you've got some weapons you can throw to and have that kind of time by your offensive line, it does make a difference.
Yeah, you know, he gets the ball out so quick, Kevin. 6 of 6 on that last drive. 4 different receivers. Good job spreading it around.
Janikowski and Stacy lets it sail over his head. Touchback to the 20-yard line. The Jets will get it. 1st and 10. Starting quarterback on the bench. Geno Smith another try. 9:37 on the second.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by McDonald's, teaming up with the NFL like never before. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Toyota, let's go places.
Raider quarterback Derek Carr has thrown 2 touchdown passes so far. Jets have lost their starting quarterback. Third possession for New York, 1st and 10. Geno Smith to Chris Ivory. The bounce with a bad hamstring. He's finally engulfed by Danico Autry, who takes it to the 26-yard line. Gain of 6 in the play. Downstairs to Alex.
Well, Kevin, I don't want to entirely rule out Ryan Fitzpatrick yet. He is on the sideline wearing a baseball cap, but he's been gripping the football, trying to see if maybe he can make that thumb feel better. One observation, Chan Gailey, the Jets offensive coordinator, calls this game from the box. So he's not down here on the sideline to communicate with Geno Smith. So quarterbacks coach Kevin Patullo has been the one doing most of the back and forth with Geno.
Expect Alex, thank you. 2nd down and 4. Ivory again. He just clogged up in there, a couple including Asante with the stop, a gain of a yard to the 27. Aggressive front as they push inside. Rich, I don't know if it's broken. We've not been told it's broken, the thumb of Fitzpatrick. But as you talked about before, just a lot of complications with the hand of a quarterback in that condition.
Yeah, I got a ball in my hand right now, Kevin. It's it's difficult for a right-handed quarterback. You think, well, what's the left thumb? What the difference does it make? Well, think about taking the center from under center. Obviously you have to spend more time in the gun. The other thing is that when you go to hand the football off, especially on runs to the right, you extend with that left hand, and that running back, he grabs down that puts a lot of pressure and a lot of impact on that thumb. So you got to be able to grip the ball and hold the football. Apparently he can't do that.
Stacy is in 3rd and 3. Geno Smith looking for Decker. Covered by Carey and covered by the great Charles Woodson. It's 4th and 3. And the punting unit takes the field. 3rd, they get the 2nd consecutive 3 and outs.
Really nice job by Carey. He's in a trail technique, knowing that he's got help over the top from Charles Woodson.
And Carey, who was a part of that coverage, a former 7th round pick a season ago out of Ohio, and a Bay Area kid, is back to retrieve the punt from Ryan Quigley. Shin issue last week. Carey returnable. And he is brought down on the play by Trevor Riley on a 12-yard return. A 40-yard punt. Flag, as you see, has been thrown at the 38-yard line. Ed Hockley, who has officiated a couple Super Bowls, 7 conference championships. And the nice thing about this crew today, 4 different members of this crew have officiated at least 1 Super Bowl. So it's talented and experienced. And that's who's in charge today. Four and 2 Jets, 3 and 3 Raiders.
There were 2 fouls by the receiving team, holding number 22. That penalty is declined. There was also holding number 25. That penalty is accepted and it's enforced from where the punt was caught. 1st down.
DJ Hayden was guilty right there. Tough place to play. Timeout. On Monday, some Raider players visited Bella Vista Elementary School in Oakland for the 17th annual NFL United Way Hometown Huddle. The players spoke with the kids and led them through a youth football clinic. And everyone had a terrific time. Look at Jack Del Rio, first-year head coach for the Raiders. He played 11 seasons in the NFL. Last 3 years, defensive coordinator at Denver. Former head coach at Jacksonville. Learned a lot, I think, in all those stops for the 2nd head coaching stint.
Former teammate of mine as well, Kevin, with the Minnesota Vikings. He's tough. He has brought some discipline and some accountability to an organization that had lost its way.
Down! You ready? What's up?
With a 1st and 10 for Carr. Good block by Penn, the left tackle. Low. Reese, did he scoop it in? Gilchrist was defending. Yes, he did. Gain of 9 to the 31. Very close to a 1st down. Marcel Reese. Now, we told you before, the records of these 2 teams, Jets 4 and 2, and the Raiders 3 and 3. This game could have an impact in the playoff picture down the road.
Yeah, if Oakland is serious about making the playoffs, these next 2 games are critical. The 2 teams just ahead of the Raiders are the Jets at 4 and 2 and Pittsburgh at 4 and 3, with the Raiders play next week in Pittsburgh.
Good point. 2nd down and 1.
Down! You ready? What's up?
Latavius Murray, big hole right there. Hudson, the center, opened it up. And the door takes him up to the 43-yard line, where he's brought down by the linebacker Harris. It's a sprint of 12 and a Raider 1st down.
Well, look at the movement they get up front, then you're just going to see a nice little run right to the backside, A-gap between the center and the guard. But Hudson gets a good block, as does Jackson. We talked about these two guys, Kevin. That's where you get good movement right up front with the center that's really done a nice job for the Raiders.
How about the center? He's the highest paid player on the Raiders. Hudson, the former Kansas City starting center, with the 1st and 10. Where there was a wonderful block by Roberts that opened things up for Crabtree, who runs out of real estate at about the 49. He picks up 6 on that bubble.
Well, one of the keys, I think, Kevin, as you study the Jets defensively, you have to have a plan for how you're going to defend the quick screen game to the wide receivers. You know, both Cooper and Crabtree scored last week with perimeter screens, and they have them to everyone. They'll have them to tight ends, to the backs, put the fullback out there. It's their way to combat pressure. When they see pressure, they want to kick the ball to the perimeter and have these guys follow the big line down the field.
Cars hit 9 in a row. Timeout, Raiders. As they're facing a 2nd down and 4, their offensive coordinator is Bill Musgrave, who's been around. In fact, he's been with Del Rio in his pass to Jacksonville.
It's amazing, as Del Rio fired him in Jacksonville.
Yeah, that's right, he did.
But they stayed close, and of course, he had a great conversation with Bill Musgrave. He said he was shocked when he got the phone call that Jack actually wanted him to come back and coach. But they know each other, they're comfortable with each other, and they share the same philosophy when it comes to offensive football.
Well, tonight, Week 8 continues with Sunday Night Football on NBC, and tomorrow with Monday Night Football on ESPN. Then Week 9 kicks off with Thursday Night Football on NFL Network. Boomer Esiason and I will be in Charlotte tomorrow night. Westwood 1 for Andrew Luck. Indianapolis Colts against Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers. Not many undefeateds left. We've got 2 playing tonight, Denver and Green Bay, on Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, that's going to be great. Good look at Bill Musgrave. He said it's a very difficult week of preparation. When we sat down with him on Friday, he was exhausted. He said it took extra long to kind of crack the code, to figure out what the Jets were doing on defense. This is a defense that gives you a lot of different looks with their fronts and coverages.
Casey Rogers is the defensive coordinator for the Jets. Here's a 2nd down and 4 after that timeout. Murray. The teeth of that Jets D. Well, they spent a lot of money, the Jets did, on the secondary, Rich. But that defensive line and stopping the run has really been the story. A terrific front 7, as we talked about. But Wilkerson, Richardson, Harris, the rookie Williams on the line, these have been big names for the Jets D.
Well, Kim, you always have to ask yourself where they spend their money, right? It's on the defensive line, the pass rush. And it started with Rex, and it continues with Todd Bowles. Both defensive coaches. You got Wilkerson, Richardson, Copels this year, Williams, all first-round draft picks.
That Copels can't get on the field. He was the #1 pick out of North Carolina, but he's only had 48 snaps over the last 3 games. 3rd down and 2. Timeout, Jets. We saw something they didn't like. Jets have called a timeout.
That's their first. It's a 30-second timeout.
After the Raiders called a timeout. 5:19 here in the first half. Big Bang is back on Thursday. Don't miss a new episode of TV's #1 comedy on its new night, The Big Bang Theory, Thursday at 8, 7 Central. Only CBS. Kevin Harlan, Rich Gannon. There are the Jets, losing last week to New England. But one of the surprises in this season at 4-2 with first-year head coach Todd Bowles.
Well, there's been so much changeover in this division. I mean, you look at the stability and continuity that the Patriots have had, but yet the Jets have a new coach. Buffalo's got a new coach. Miami has a new coach.
Right.
Now they fired Joe Philbin, moved on to Dan Campbell. So everyone's still trying to figure out how to take down the bullies in that division. That's been the Patriots for the better part of a decade.
Each team has used a timeout here, back to back, and it's a 3rd and 2, and they're going deep, and they're looking for Holmes. He beat Cromartie. Touchdown. Quarterback David Carr has thrown 3 first-half touchdown passes against the Jets here in Oakland today.
You know, Derek Carr really throws a pretty deep ball, and I love the fact that he puts some air on this for a guy like Andre Holmes. A little bit of jostling there between Holmes and Cromartie, but you love receivers that have some height and some length that'll go get the football.
Well, here we are talking about Crabtree, who has caught a touchdown pass, and certainly Cooper, who has wowed everybody as a rookie. And it's this undrafted kid out of tiny Hillsdale, who was waived by New England, undrafted, and began his career with the Minnesota Vikings. Andre Holmes, fourth-year player. Janikowski, 21-3 Oakland. 5-11 second quarter. Carr has thrown 3 touchdown passes today, 2 to Andre Holmes.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Dish, the Dish 2-year price lock. Go to Dish.com to learn more. And by Bud Light. Make the right call. Drink responsibly.
Beautiful shot of San Francisco just across the bay. There's a look at Derek Carr, David's younger brother, who's led drives today for the Raiders of 76, 78, and 78 yards. 3 touchdown passes, and the lead of 21-3 for the 3-3 Raiders.
He's off to a terrific start, Kevin. He's found his rhythm early against one of the league's top defenses.
Stacy will leave it in the end zone for the Jets.
Right, look at some of the throws that he's had. Straight touch on the 5-yard touchdown to Holmes. He finds Crabtree in a big third down conversion, and again, another nice go route throw to Andre Holmes for a 49-yard score against what was pretty good coverage from Antonio Cromartie. Just never found the ball. Perfect throw, gets it done from Derek Carr.
So now for the Jets, who have all kinds of injuries and uncertainty in several positions today. Wide receiver, the line, running back. Now the hamstring is going to bother for the back, their main workhorse, Ivory. 1st and 10 for Smith. They've lost their starting quarterback. They're going downfield for Marshall. It's intercepted. And it's picked off by Charles Woodson. It's number 65 for Woodson. The ball, they say, with Woodson out of bounds back at the 34. He has just tied Ken Riley for number 5 all-time interceptions. His NFL leading 5th interception, Charles Woodson. Pretty good group. He's the reigning AFC Defensive Player of the Month, 5th time in his career. He's been a Conference Player of the Month. On a Super Bowl at Green Bay. Trying to serve as a mentor and still incredibly productive here at the age of 39 with the Oakland Raiders. Off of 35, 1st and 10, Derek Carr. Marcel Reese. Williams again trying to make a tackle and again cannot bring him down. 15-yard catch and run to the 50.
Well, you get yourself in trouble when you predetermine where you're going to go with the throw and you don't do a good enough job holding the safety with your eyes. Charles Woodson's got to beat on this the whole way. This is like stealing. It's like taking candy from a baby. You've got to always be aware of where Charles Woodson is when you try and throw the ball down the middle of the field. Talk about a guy that just seems to get better with age.
My former teammate, Derek Carr, has hit his last 11. He's flipping on the end around here. Not a whole lot of running space because David Harris was there. Cooper carried the ball on the end around. It is a gain of 2 to the 48-yard line of the Jets.
Well, this is just the start that the Raiders were looking for. Kevin, reminds me a little bit of last week, what they did on the road against San Diego. They got 2 early interceptions from Phillip Rivers in the first quarter. They were able to convert them into some points. Offensively, you mentioned they scored in the first 7 possessions.
They've had in last count 2 35-point games in the first 6 so far. 2nd down and 8. Look at Murray. He's brought down in the secondary by Gilchrist. He takes the ball to the 36-yard line. He picks up 12 on the run with the Raider first down.
Well, just look at the movement. You're going to get the left guard pull. You're going to get the tight end come around. And Rivera, he's going to kick out. And you get Latavius Murray, before you know it hits you, he's already up on the second level.
Number one run defense of the Jets. And Murray on the ground, 66, as Rich just said, and just 9 carries. First and 10. Murray again, pulling his Jackson. And 10. And to the 34. A couple guys in there making the stop, including Leonard Williams. It is a gain of 2. Coming up on the Verizon halftime report from our CBS studios in New York, JB and company have scores, highlights, and news. Steve Smith was injured for Baltimore. Le'Veon Bell was injured for the Pittsburgh Steelers today. And what a big day Eli Manning and Drew Brees put together in a shootout in New Orleans. All coming up on the Verizon halftime report moments from now in New York. Second down and 8 from the 34. Fake to Jones. Crabtree right through his hands. Coverage on the play by Marcus Williams.
Well, that's one that Crabtree's got to make. I mean, goes right through his hands. Really impressed, as I said, Kevin, with the job that Derek Carr has done. I think part of it is the pass protection has been so much better. Carr's only been sacked 5 times in 6 games. This is a defense that does a great job harassing the quarterback, forcing him off the spot. But the Raiders up front have done a nice job kind of neutralizing that pass rush of the Jets.
Jets with the nickel secondary, 38. Everybody coming. Crabtree got turned around. And they had Dexter McDougal, who was battling a hand injury, and he was back there trying to cover. Incomplete pass.
The knock on Carr coming out of Fresno State was he wasn't a tough guy. He wouldn't sit in the pocket and take a hit. You really studied him last year, and that just wasn't the case. He's willing to sit in there. He's willing to take the extra hit, hold the ball till the very last minute.
He was a starter in week 1. That was against the Jets in the Meadowlands. First time in the franchise history that they've ever had a rookie Raider starting quarterback this season. It's a 52-yard field goal try by Janikowski. And it is no good. Missing from 52. Janikowski now 11 of 14 on the season. And so they come up empty. They had a Reese 15-yard catch and run and a Murray 12-yard run, and they can show nothing for it after the Woodson interception gave them the ball.
And the Jets got to get something going offensively right now. Kevin, down 21-3. They weren't counting on, obviously, Geno Smith playing, but Chan Gailey has got to find a way to open up this offense a little bit. You look at Brandon Marshall, he's got 1 catch. Got to find a way to get him involved and attack this Raider defense vertically.
That 1 catch came in the very first play of the game from Fitzpatrick for the Jets. On the missed field goal, they take over at the 42, first and 10. Ferguson moved and Mack was coming. And
False start offense, number 60. 5-yard penalty at first down.
That's a subtle thing, Kevin. When you change quarterbacks, you also have a different cadence.
I mean, how's that sound?
You've got a different quarterback that's in there, and Ryan Fitzpatrick, his cadence might be a little bit quicker, a little bit more deliberate. Geno's might have a little bit more pause to it. And you've got a left tackle, Pro Bowl left tackle that's used to 1. He gets a little antsy there, and he gets out of the stance a bit early.
Now the first and 15. Smith swings one. There's Marshall. He's covered by all kinds of black jerseys, and look at him dance to midfield, and he's close to the first down. Finally doused by Mario Edwards, and a 13-yard catch and run by wide receiver Brandon Marshall. It's the 2-minute warning with Carr throwing 3 touchdown passes. Well, the Jets missing a lot of beard, as you can see. Their center man gold out today with the neck issue. Quarterback is out. Second down and 2 at the 2-minute warning. With a handoff, and it goes to Stacy, who was brought down on the play by Edwards. It is a gain of 6. He's down to the 44. It is a Jets first down. Your battery's gone, Rich. That changes everything.
It really does. You hate to lose your starter, but what a great opportunity for Geno Smith, who started the preseason as a starter for the Jets.
Sure did. And out of bounds it goes with a pass to Tompkins, who's up from the practice squad last week, although inactive against his old team, the Patriots. A gain of 5 right there. He's down to the 39-yard line of Oakland.
And he's been chomping at the bit to get back in there with this group. And this is a great opportunity. There are no guarantees in this business. This would be a great A great accomplishment if Geno Smith can get them back in this game, trailing 21-3 in the first half.
Here's got a second down and 5 and across the middle. He has got tight end, or rather Eric Decker, the receiver, makes the grab. It's a gain of 14 yards. His first catch today. He's down to the 25-yard line of Oakland. Decker with his first, and he's not completely healthy with a knee injury he suffered a couple weeks ago and still hurting him now. Smith first and 10. Quick hit right there by Emerson on the receiver, Kendrell Tompkins, and a gain of 2 down to the 23.
Plenty of time, a minute left. You've got 2 timeouts. They're doing a good job getting the play out quickly.
Second down 8, Stacy.
Now you take the timeout.
Mack brings him down, gain of 2 to the 20. 2 timeouts apiece, Jets and Oakland. Timeout taken by New York. Smith walks to the sideline, Jets on the move, 49 seconds to play. So 3rd down and 5 with the Jets getting it after a missed field goal by Oakland, down to the 20-yard line and trailing 21-3. Smith to the end zone, looking for Marshall. Coverage by T.J. Carey. 4th down.
Well, when they need a big play, they usually look in the direction of Brandon Marshall. I like the fact that Geno gives him a chance to make a play. I think Marshall just comes down the top of Carey.
Ooh, Carey is down. Oakland has to use a timeout because of the injury. So they now have 1 remaining. Jets have 2. Field goal unit out there for New York. T.J. Carey, who was the #1 cornerback in camp, has replaced the injured Nate Allen now at safety. And he was up and on his feet pretty quickly when knocked out of him. So there is a look at Nick Folk, who's going to try a 38-yard field goal. Already 1 good through the uprights today from 40 yards. With 44 seconds to play in the first half. 38-yarder brings the Jets a bit closer, 21-6 with 40 seconds to play in the half. So they get something out of it. The big play was a 13-yard catch and run by Marshall, followed by a 14-yard pass to Decker across the middle. Coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report, JB, Tony Bart, Boomer, and Coach Bill Cowher for the latest NFL scores. A lot of news, tons of highlights, as well as a preview of Thursday Night Football only on NFL Network. That's all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. So now they go back, the Jets do, in the locker room. They're down 21-6 right now. And walk me through what they do with Geno Smith with a change of quarterback because of the injury to Fitzpatrick, and maybe how they reshape their offense for the second half.
I think the process has already started. I think Chan Gailey sits up in that press box and he goes through his list of plays that he thinks Geno has a history with, that he's comfortable with. I think they'll make some adjustments at the half. I think they'll really try and focus in on having a conversation with Geno. The one thing about Geno Smith, as we saw the interception, he's got to get the ball up and down a little bit quicker, Kevin, when he throws the deep ball. He puts a lot of air on it, and he gives a safety like Charles Woodson too much time to make a play, even if the ball's outside the numbers.
We have not been told, and obviously we've asked often to the Jets, the condition of Fitzpatrick. Is it a dislocation? Is it a bad sprain?
Could be a ligament
broken? Is it a ligament? What?
I'm surprised that he hasn't left the field and had an X-ray, but maybe they know it's not fracture. Maybe he just got bent back and he felt some type of a pull or a tug in there. And they do have doctors on the sidelines. They wrapped it right away.
You ever played anything like that, Rich?
I've had a fracture in the wrist, probably the closest thing that I had to deal with in terms of my left hand. Nothing with the throwing hand. That's almost impossible for a quarterback, but hate to see that happen to Fitzpatrick, Kevin. He had been playing well for the Jets.
Here's Tyron Jones. He's going to bring it out. With a quick stop made by Aaron Henderson. Return of 20. In case you're just joining us, here was the injury early in the game. Fitzpatrick had gone 3 of 3 through the air.
It really made a nice third down, made a terrific scramble, and then right at the end there, he goes down and awkwardly, kind of looks like he got that left hand, that thumb jammed, and he knew right away. He stayed on the field. And then, of course, Geno Smith came in. In this situation, Kevin, you look at where the Raiders are at, backed up 35 seconds, just the one timeout. They just kneel on it and head to the locker room up 21-6, feeling really good about their first half performance.
Now the Jets have won 2 of 3 coming in and to travel across country. The question was, how would the Jets respond to the close loss last week? And the question also was, how would the Raiders respond to a rare win in the division, where Carr threw 3 touchdowns last week in San Diego. He's thrown 3 first-half touchdowns here this afternoon in Oakland and looked very, very sharp. 14 of 18 for Derek Carr, 178, 3 touchdowns, no picks. 2 touchdown receptions by Holmes, his lanky wide receiver, Alex Flanagan, on the field.
Well, Coach, what a nice start. 3 touchdown passes. Where are you winning those matchups?
We're doing a good job with protection first. I think the quarterback, Derek's doing a great job making good decisions.
Second half, you've come out and had a great start. What kind of message would you like your team to hear from you right now?
Well, we just want to play good football. You know, all 3 phases. That's what we talk about all the time. And we've been well drilled and well trained, and we're ready for the moment. Now we just need to go out and relax and play.
How much of an opportunity is it for you defensively to have a quarterback go out like they've had?
Yeah, to me it doesn't matter. They're all talented guys. They wouldn't be in the league if they're not talented. We just need to play good football.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it.
It's the best start for the Raiders in 4 years. They've already equaled the win total of a season ago, and they've got a lead over the New York Jets, 21-6. We'll take a break, and we'll take you to New York. You're watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 50. Raiders with touchdown drives of 76, 78, and 78 yards with the lead. Now, who are you loving? Presented by McDonald's. Quarterback Derek Carr finding his receiver for the second time today, Andre Holmes. And the lead at halftime going to the second half here in the Bay Area. A look at Carr. Kevin Harlan alongside Rich Gannon. All right. Look now at the second half. Where are we going?
You know, Kevin, this is not the kind of start that the Jets were looking for. You hate to lose your quarterback, but this is what you pay Geno Smith for, to come in at a moment's notice and really keep things going. This is a great opportunity for him in the second half to make some plays. When you look at the adjustments, I think offensively the Jets have to open things up. Geno's going to have to make some plays with his legs both in and outside the pocket. I think defensively you've got to be able to create some pressure on Derek Carr. He's 14 of 18. He's thrown 3 touchdowns, and he hasn't been sacked. I think for the Raiders offense, that wouldn't change a thing. They've had a nice, good mix with the run and the pass. I think defensively, you can't let Chris Ivory beat you. You've got to make Geno Smith throw the ball 30 times here in the second half.
Tywan Jones is going to bring it out. And a couple of missed tackles, although I think they said his knee went down. It did indeed. 18-yard return. With the tackle made by Darren Walls, his second special teams tackle today. Flag is on the field. Second place in the East, the Jets coming in 4-2, 2-1 on the road. The Raiders coming in 3-3, 1-2 at
Holding by the
home.
receiving team, number 57, during the return. Half the distance to the goal, Oakland keeps the ball, first down.
On Trevor Riley. Let's go downstairs to Alex Flanagan.
Hey, Kevin, well, I talked to Todd Bowles at halftime. He says that Ryan Fitzpatrick has a ligament issue in his hand. He says he doesn't know how bad it is, but that he won't play. Geno Smith will be at the lead in the second half of this game. He said that his backup, when I asked him, he said it's a good question. It might be one of the running backs. Speaking of the running backs, he said they need to get the running game going, and to do that, they need to open up more holes for Chris Ivory. He said that he feels like his offense hasn't been on the field enough, and so when they are there, they're panicking. So he said that he needs them to just calm down. Geno Smith, he said, is fully capable of doing what he needs to do to get them back into this game.
Thank you, Alex. Ivory has 15 yards. Stacy has 9. Here's a 1st and 10. And it's Murray, who is knocked sideways by Sheldon Richardson. After a gain of 9, he's up to the 15 of the Raiders.
Well, the Jets defensively, Ken, we talk about what they have to do offensively. The Jets have to make some plays defensively. This is a defense that has been very good at taking the ball away 15 times already this season, but their front, they've got to do a better job stopping the run and getting to Derek Carr. The 4-man pressures aren't getting it done. They've got to start bringing some 5- and 6-man pressures to get to Derek Carr.
Raiders offense today, no turnovers, no sacks allowed, over 260 yards, over 17 minutes total time of possession. Murray again On second down and 2. Climbs to about the 17, very close to the first down. Harrison had a hand on that stop, and the first half resume for Oakland.
Well, pretty good report card for the first half. For the second straight week, their punter Marquette King has not had to punt in the first half. So you're doing some good things there. Those 2 drives, those 2 10-play drives to start the game were critical for the Raiders.
It's like the Raiders are letting Derek Carr kind of get loose, too. Cut it loose and throw deep downfield like in the stretch the defense with his offensive vertical game.
Yeah, I like the fact that they've not backed down from Cromartie and Reeves. They've gone after these veteran quarterbacks with their young receiver, Amari Cooper.
First and 10. Murray trying to cut across the game. He had Wilkerson coming up high, and then down low, there was a hit made by Richardson and Wilkerson both. No gain on the play. Second down and 10.
Those 2 players are a handful. Wilkerson has the 5 sacks. Richardson had 8 sacks and 49 hurries last year. They're so big and strong and quick. They haven't done a good job of is get to Derek Carr.
They only had 11 sacks this defense does this season so far, yet in generating pressure, they're 4th best in the NFL.
And Carr is one of the best in the business, Kevin, so far this season at handling pressure. His numbers against pressure are tops.
Second down and 10. Walford, he is the rookie tight end. He's brought down from behind by linebacker David Harris. It is a gain of 12, a catch and run near the 28.
Well, they're excited about this young tight end. Get a little natural pick. You got one receiver running the drag route, the other one's going to run the slant route. You could call it a pick or a rub, but the linebacker's going to get caught up in the wash.
Walford was the all-time tight end receiving record holder at the University of Miami. There's a rookie 3rd-round pick by this Oakland team. First catch by a tight end today for the Raiders. First and 10. Misdirection. This is Cooper. He's up to the 41-yard line. He's hit from behind by Muhammad Wilkerson. A 13-yard pickup to the 41 of the Raiders.
Well, he's just so smooth. He's going to run the comeback route. He puts his foot right in the ground. And once he catches it, then he comes to life. I mean, he is such a tough tackle. We talked about yards after catch. He's 2nd behind Danny Woodhead of the Chargers. Has almost 300 yards after the catch this season.
And first among wide receivers. That includes Julio Jones down in Atlanta, who's a pretty good guy after the catch as well. First and 10. Jones in the backfield, and Carr goes to Taiwan Jones. Hits by Davis. Another missed tackle by Williams. Another missed tackle by Gilchrist, and he's off to the races. Touchdown. Derek Carr, 4 touchdown passes today for the Raiders.
Just keep an eye on DeMario Davis. This could have been a gain of 2 or 3, Kim. He's right there to make the play. He's not able to make the tackle. Now watch all these missed tackles. There's a missed tackle. Whoa. There's a missed tackle. Another missed tackle. I mean, this is sloppy football. This will drive Todd Bowles to drink. You take a simple swing pattern and you let him go the distance.
Longest play from scrimmage allowed by the Jets defense this year. It's Janikowski with a 28-6 Oakland lead. Murray ran for 9. Walford had a catch for 12. Cooper had 1 for 13. And then the very fast Taiwan Jones, 59-yard touchdown. They look beat up.
They do. They look tired. And Kevin, we were talking during the break about the reasons for the poor performance. There are no reasons. You can sit here and think about, are they tired? Are they a long trip? Or did they play the Patriots last week? There's no excuse for poor tackling.
Jack Stacy will leave it in. 20-yard line, touchback with the first and 10. The tackling has been, I think, a significant issue defensively.
You don't get to be a number 2 defense by not tackling well. And this is exactly what we saw in the first half. And again in the second half. I mean, this is a simple little wide route to the back, Taiwan Jones. At worst case scenario, you pick up 5 yards. You've got a bunch of guys tackling. You've got a bunch of guys loafing. You've got a bunch of guys taking poor angles. it's a big reason why you trail 28-6.
We're talking about the second-ranked defense in pro football coming into today of the Jets. Geno Smith, 1st and 10. Ferguson the block. With Marshall bringing it in about the 32-yard line, 33-yard line, and hit on the play by Nico Thorpe on a gain of 13, a first down for the Jets.
And when they need a big play, this is what they look for. He's averaging just under 100 yards a game. He's so good after the catch as well. He brings some attitude to the huddle. He's not afraid to speak his mind. It's about time somebody speak up in that huddle.
Rocky.
Five-time Pro Bowler can say that. 1st and 10.
Yeah.
Smith. Chased by Edwards. We needed the 44 for a first down. They got just outside the 40-yard line, or maybe they're going to say he touched the chalk at about the 38. He did indeed on a scramble of 4 for Geno Smith.
Let's take a minute to talk about how the Jets get back in this, and right there is part of it, Kevin. He's got to be able to make some plays with his legs. He's talented enough to do that, but at times he's tentative. I think they can't completely get away from the running game. Chris Ivory has been a big part of their success. And then, you know, Brandon Marshall and Eric Decker, they have to make some plays down the field against a pass defense that's dead last in football.
2nd and 5, Decker across the middle, hit by DJ with a gain of 5 on the play. They'll put him at the 43.
The one thing the Raiders have done a good job of defensively is stop the run. We talked about them being 3rd in run defense, but they're dead last in pass defense. You go up 304 yards a game. They've had a difficult time rushing the passer as well, and they've got some corners that are susceptible to give up some big plays. DJ Hayden, David Amerson, who was waived by the Redskins. There's some opportunities out there in the passing game.
Ivory on 3rd and 1. He'll take it to the 47, get the first down. Around his ankles, he found Edwards. And it's a gain of 4 and a first. Edwards taking the place of the injured Justin Tuck.
When you trail 28-6, every drive, every possession, every snap is critical. And if you're Geno Smith, you've got to make the most of every snap.
Ivory 1st and 10. We have a game to the 49-yard line. It is a gain of 3. Some shoving after the play. As you can see right there, the tackle was made by Malcolm Smith. So in the huddle, Rich, if you're down like this, you need to show life. What's the responsibility on the quarterback to generate that himself with either his words or whatever?
I think it's just a take charge attitude. I think, you know, this is what they paid him for. He's gotten more work as he's felt better, you know, after that injury to his jaw. And this is an opportunity to really win over the respect of your teammates by going out and playing well in a critical situation.
2nd and 7. He's got Marshall down near the 20-yard line. They worked on Emerson. You just talked about him. Mark him out at the 22 with a connection of 28. And then he fell. This is also used by the baseball Oakland Athletics.
Just watch him at the end of this play. He comes up a little lame on that right ankle.
This is a team that already had a lot of injuries and uncertainty at several positions today. The offensive line. Cologne started, but he's injured. Receiver, running back, and in the secondary, they can hardly use another injury.
Well, you're without your best offensive lineman, Nick Mangold, and now your best receiver.
Well, did he hurt it maybe when he was trying to stop after he was tackled from behind? That's what it was. Got hurt on the tackle, injury timeout, 8:37 in the 3rd.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest. Transparency. Low fares, nothing to hide. DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. And by Taco Bell's new Steak Boss Wraps.
Brandon Marshall just caught a 28-yard pass. The defensive back rolled up under his ankle. He walked off under his own power. He is on the sideline right now. So Tompkins, Curley are the receivers on one side, Decker on the other side. It's 1st and 10 from the 22 of Oakland for the Jets. Geno Smith guns one, Decker. Brought down by Emerson. Works his way down to the 12, picks up 9 on first down.
You know, Decker's not the fastest or the prettiest route runner, but all he does is get open. And that's the guy I'd be going after, Kevin. Emerson, David Emerson. He was waived by the Redskins, got beat on a lot of big plays for the Redskins a year ago.
Smith 2nd and 1, screen, Ivory. There's a block by Cologne or an attempted block, and then finally Mays brings down Ivory, who takes it down to the 4. It's a gain of 10. First and goal, Jets.
Right, great respect for how Chris Ivory runs the football. He's got a ferocious running style. He's kind of a battering ram. If you're not careful, he'll knock you backwards.
And he's got a hamstring as Marshall is back out there for the New York Jets when they can use him most. Inside like this. First and goal at the 4. Tommy Bohan on the fullback. Touchdown. Decker, 4-yard grab, working on DJ Hayden. And the Jets with the score. Now creep a bit closer, 7:19 in the third.
Well, you get the fullback out. You're going to see Decker. He's going to come right back underneath. Gino does a good job throwing this one low and away, protecting Eric Decker. Big score for the Jets.
Decker caught 6 passes in 94 last week in New England. He's now coming to the focus of the quarterbacks, and he's got 4 catches for 31 and a touchdown right there. Decker with his 5th touchdown reception of the season, and Smith with his first touchdown pass of the year. It's 28-13, 7:19 in the third. Jets come back. Smith taking the place of the injured Fitzpatrick. 6 of 6 on that drive and finding Decker in the end zone. Tonight, the discovery of the remains of a long-lost ship and the story about the slave trade it reveals on 60 Minutes. Tonight, only CBS. On that last drive by the Jets, Marshall had a catch at 13, a big catch at 28, sets up a 4-yard touchdown pass by Smith to Decker. Ensuing kickoff, Iwan Jones will take it about 6-7 yards out of the end zone and find some room to roam out near the 38. Eventually brought down on the play by Lorenzo Molden, the rookie. It's a 40-yard return. With NFL Mobile, watch local and primetime NFL games live on your smartphone. Learn more at NFL.com/mobile. 4 touchdown passes today by Derek Carr.
Yeah, he's looked terrific, Kevin. And we're talking about Geno Smith as well during the break, and it's well documented the struggles that he has had as the starter for the Jets his first 2 seasons. This is great for his confidence. 12 of 16, 129 yards. He's thrown the ball well after the interception. Continue to make some big plays against this Raiders secondary.
It's Murray on 1st and 10. Nice block by Howard, the former Jet right tackle. With a gain down to the 40-yard line of the Jets. It's a 24-yard rump. And there was a wonderful block by Austin Howard, the right tackle of the Raiders.
Well, he's going to get the kick out and then watch the right guard come around as well, or the left guard, Kevin, come around as well. Jackson, and then the center. Really nice job there getting Latavius Murray up on the second level. It started with a great block by Austin Howard, and then the pull by Rodney Hudson.
Murray's got 103 on the ground for the Raiders against the Jets' #1 run defense coming into today. 1st and 10, Oakland. Derek Carr. This is grabbed by tight end Lee Smith, former Buffalo Bills, last 4 years with Buffalo. He's more of a blocking tight end. He picks up 6 right there. That's his 7th reception of the season to the 33 of the Jets.
Well, the Raiders are doing a really nice job mixing things up. You know, you look at their run-to-pass ratio, 18 runs, 22 passes. A lot of the passes have been quick hitters.
Carr 18 to 22, 267 through the air. Second down and 4 to the hands of Cooper, who was covered that time by the linebacker David Harris.
I thought he was the best and most complete receiver in last spring's draft. Doesn't drop a lot of balls, but so did Derek Carr. And Carr was very involved in the selection process of Amari Cooper. When we sat down to visit with him on Friday, he was asked for his input. He watched the tape of all the top receivers coming out. He actually sat down with the Raiders wide receiver coach Rob Moore and watched tape of Amari Cooper. So he had great familiarity once he rolled into his first minicamp. And one of the things that Carr talked about was how comfortable he looked from the get-go.
Cooper third in the Heisman voting, 3rd down and 4. Richardson, who got a big paw on it. Sheldon Richardson, he's been reinstated certainly from the suspension, missing the first 4 games. Comes up with a big play there and stops the Raiders.
You're going to see him right in the middle of your screen. Gets good penetration as he gets double teamed. Knows he can't get there, so he does the next best thing, jumps up and backs down Derek Carr's pass.
So Janikowski's going to try a 52-yard field goal. He missed at the other end of the field from over 50. This from 52, and there is a breeze at his back. 31-13, he nails it. 50th career field goal of 50 yards or more. Sebastian Janikowski, 5:45 in the third.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the Call of Duty Black Ops 3 bundle. Greatness awaits. And by Hyundai, an official sponsor of the NFL.
Coit Tower here in the Bay Area at 50th. By Janikowski, puts him in some rarefied air. Here's the kickoff after his 52-yard field goal. They lead it. And to the 20 with the touchback, Geno Smith and the Jet offense. Saturday, the SEC on CBS with the matchup of the year. First, the Razorbacks tough it out with Ole Miss. Then in prime time, Superback Leonard Fournette and the LSU Tigers take on Derrick Henry and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Today begins with Inside College Football and College Football Today, right here on CBS Sports. Crowd into it. Jets coming in 4-2. Oakland at 3-3. First and 10 with New York, and their quarterback, Geno Smith, hit as he throws Ivory out of the backfield. Broke the tackle, then kind of hit the deck. Runs into Nico Thorpe, picks up 7 on the play out to the 27-yard line.
Well, Geno Smith 6 for 6 in that last drive. Seems like every time the Jets try and crawl back in this one, the Raiders answer with a score.
If you're just joining us, ligament damage in the left thumb of Ryan Fitzpatrick, his non-throwing thumb, left hand. Second down 3. It's Ivory. And then, boy, he got whacked in there. A couple in there. Edwards had a hand on it. Sante came from the side for the secondary. Gain of 8. And out to the 35-yard line.
Well, he took a big hit. Took a big hit at the end from Mario Edwards Jr. It's usually the one you don't see. You know, he's got his eyes down there. Never sees Mario Edwards Jr. just come in and big time hit.
Stacy in. First and 10. Smith. Good throw. Dropped by Curley. Coverage by DJ Hayden. And that ball didn't have any air in it. Did have a line drive.
Well, he got that one up and down, but it was a tough catch for Jeremy Curley. You see him have to reach out for this one, but it's one you like to think he could make. Just wasn't able to squeeze it at the bottom.
Geno Smith had hit his last 8 passes until that one there. Second and 10. Fitzpatrick.
Well, if you're the Raiders, Kevin, I think you got to be careful now. You don't want this guy to start going crazy on you. You got to be able to roll some coverage towards Brandon Marshall.
Second and 10 for Geno Smith. And Tompkins with the catch. The former Raider receiver makes the grab, 43-yard line, shy of the first, picks up 8.
I'd like to see the receiver continue to come back. I mean, pretty fortunate there. Emerson gets that left hand in there. Great concentration on the boundary by Kenbrell Tompkins.
Tompkins, undrafted by New England, waived, picked up by Oakland, let go. New England got him back, and the Jets got him earlier in October. 3rd and 1.
This is 4-down territory as well. I think every possession now, trailing 31-13, they have to have a sense of urgency offensively.
Clock approaching 4 minutes to play, too, in this third. 3rd and 1. Look out! Sacked on the play, Danico Autry. 2 years out of Mississippi State. The first sack of the game and only the 5th allowed by the offensive line of the Jets all year. It's a loss of 4, back to the 40.
Well, he couldn't roll it. You just see here Geno Smith, he's looking downfield, but couldn't freeze it. Where's he going to throw it? I mean, everybody is covered. Great coverage across the board by the Oakland Raiders.
Hayden
take a sack in that situation, Kevin. They might have gone for it had they had the 4th and 1, but now forced to punt it.
Ryan Quigley will punt. Purdue with the long snap, and they blow it dead, as you saw in mid-motion.
Delay of game offense, 5-yard penalty. It's still 4th down.
Todd Bowles looks frustrated with this group. You know, it's usually the team that plays with a greater sense of purpose, and clearly, Kevin, through the first 3 quarters of the game, you get the sense it's the Oakland Raiders. They've been more dominant. You can really feel their team's speed. You look at the way the quarterback has played. Defensively, the Raiders have done a really nice job.
Raiders have scored on 5 of their 6 possessions today, not including the kneel down just before halftime. They scored in the first 7 last week in San Diego. Quigley, TJ Carey is back for the Raiders. He gets up a rocket. 12-yard line, hang time of 4-6. Here comes Carey. And followed well with the tackle downfield and some self-celebration by Aaron Henderson with the flag, a 3-yard return and a 52-yard punt.
During the punt, illegal block in the back by the receiving team, number 22. That's 4th half the distance to the goal from the end of the kick. Oakland keeps the ball, 1st down.
That is the 3rd special teams penalty against the Raiders today. But the defense, there's some nice play inside by Autry. It's always Halloween here. Never miss a moment of football action with the CBS Sports app. Every play, every score, every game, and every highlight right as they happen. Download the CBS Sports app now at cbssports.com/mobile. 1st and 10. Crabtree. And a tackle made by Marcus Williams on the sideline with a catch and run to the 31. Picks up 24. A Raider 1st down.
Cromartie's late getting up. Again, yards after catch. Been a big story today for the Raiders. Just a simple little flat route to Crabtree, and Cromartie takes a poor angle, is not able to make the tackle.
Crabtree, the former #1 pick by San Francisco, played in that Super Bowl. Now a Raider. Advancement of this roster by General Manager Reggie McKenzie continues in a very positive way.
And a lot of team speed offensively.
1st and 10. Derek Carr, Cooper, looking for a block. Holmes is going to try to get it, and then the Jets followed well. Revis was over there, and the gain to the 33 and a pickup of 2.
Look at those possessions today. I mean, it's a pretty good looking report card, and we were talking about the punter, Marquette King. He's stealing. He's not even earning his paycheck today. It reminds me when I was here with Shane Leckler.
Well, you were stealing too?
No, Leckler, he's in his 16th season. And the reason he's in his 16th season, he never had a punt the first 6 years. I saw his kid back the game. I said, what did you do today? What did you stand over there? You practice catching the ball, you sip Gatorade. What do you do out there?
You see what he's doing right there. 2nd down.
4.
With a couple tight ends. Murray, over 100 yards today. He's been drilled and caught by Sheldon Richardson. He was the Jets MVP last season. Lost of a yard. Back to just inside the 33.
A little surprised the Jets haven't played better defensively, Kevin. We talked about the missed tackles, not getting off the field on 3rd down. And they haven't been able to get to Derek Carr. The guy's dropped back 26 times. He's 20 of 26. He's thrown 4 touchdowns, and they haven't gotten a whiff.
Or great credit to the offensive line of the Raiders.
I think it's a combination.
3rd and 7. Left side of that line's been terrific. Here they come around the edge, and Wilkerson just drilled the quarterback. Nice catch made by Roberts in front of Williams. Down to the 46. A 20-yard pickup and a 1st down. Seth Roberts is out of West Alabama. That was a big hit. Wilkerson on Carr.
Well, they're real excited about Seth Roberts. They think he's got a chance to be a really talented player. 2 deep coverage, Marcus Williams. You see Carr, he's willing to sit in there with a tough jaw and take the hit.
He's got over 300 yards passing, Rich, today for the Raiders.
Get down, get down.
He's having an outstanding 2nd season No signs whatsoever of a sophomore slump at Derek Carr.
Murray on 1st and 10, big hole, big block by Howard. He was tripped up as he got to the secondary by Williams and picks up 9 to the 36. Quarters come to a close. Raiders on the move. Derek Carr, 4 touchdown passes today. Oakland on top. That's a look at our afternoon through 3 quarters here in Oakland. 31-13. Raiders on top. Raiders won last week in San Diego. They had a road win at Cleveland week 3. It stopped an 11-game road losing streak. They beat a divisional foe on the road last week. Their first division road win since 2012. They've already equaled the number of wins from last year, as have the Jets. And looking sharp today. 2nd down and 1. On the Jet 36.
Down!
Murray over 111 yards on the ground.
What's up?
He goes again. Trying to get the first, getting close. Looks like he's got it, carving his way to the 34, picks up 2. And Harrison with some shoving after the play, after the tackle.
You got to give this Raiders offensive line some credit, and even Mike Tice, a job that he has done with this unit. Penn and Jackson, Hudson, Webb, Howard. Talked about the fact that they gave up just 5 sacks coming into today's game. And look what they've done running the football. As you pointed out, Kevin, 114 yards already on the ground from Murray, and 435 yards of offense as we just get started here in the 4th quarter.
First down. He's trying to get the block chipped and the pass overthrown to Cooper with the coverage by Williams. 2nd down. Coming up after the game, time permitting, the Subway post-game show. Join JB, Tony Bart, Boomer, and Coach Cowher for news, scores, highlights, all coming up in the Subway post-game show from our CBS studios in New York.
It's becoming a desperate situation for the Jets, Kevin. They need a big turnover or something here defensively. Sack, fumble, interception, something to get them back into this game.
Down!
Taiwan Jones in. Running back, 2nd and 10. Jones. Got a block from Jackson. Gets a block from his receiver, Cooper. He picks up about 10 as he wheels his way near the Jet 24. Flag back at the 36.
It's going to go against Oakland.
Illegal hands to the face, offense number 61. It's a 10-yard penalty enforced in the previous spot. Repeat 2nd down.
That's on Rodney Hudson, the center.
Yeah, you get a good shot of it right here. Working on a nose tackle. Going to get that right hand right up there, knock the helmet off of Snacks Harrison.
And maybe to show you how far the Raiders have evolved, that's only the first offensive penalty today on them.
Yeah, they've been a lot, under Jack Del Rio, Kevin, they've been a lot more disciplined. They've taken better care of the football. They're not committing the foolish penalties, the personal fouls.
Carr with 4 touchdown passes today. 2nd down and 20, back at the Jet 44. Roy Haluzin offers a block. And he throws it in the grass because the coverage was right there. Stephen Bowen had come in and covered. Let's go downstairs to Alex Flanagan.
Well, Kevin and Rich, just picking up on the penalty changes that you've been seeing with the Raiders. It's not the only culture change that is really happening here. On the sideline, you can just feel a tangible sense of confidence amongst these players. Jack Del Rio came in. He brought a detailed, organized approach to this. And Rich, when the things that you put in place actually are paid off by winning, the players really start believing.
Absolutely, Alex.
There's a 3rd and 20. It's Crabtree, back by Williams, brought down on the play by Dion Bailey, taking the place of the injured Calvin Pryor, shy of the first down to the 19, but they do get 15 and into field goal range.
As Alex was saying about Jack Del Rio, grew up 15 miles south of the stadium in Hayward, where the Raiders are one of the most dominant franchises in professional sports, and it's his goal of bringing back the good times to an area and a team that really haven't been to the playoffs since 2002. I think what you see is what you get with Jack. He's not going to sugarcoat it. He's going to be extremely honest and tell the players what's on his mind.
Janikowski will try a 47-yard field goal after knocking through a 51, 52-yarder moments ago. That is through from 47 yards away, and he extends the Oakland lead to 34-13. Crabtree had a couple nice catches of 24 and 15, and then Janikowski puts up 3. Raiders have had 3 10-play scoring drives today. Their quarterback has thrown 4 touchdown passes, and their kicker, Janikowski, has made a couple from 52 and 47. He did miss an earlier 52-yarder. Jets have lost their starting quarterback. Geno Smith has come in. Geno has gone 15 to 20, 153. He threw a pick in the first half. He's also thrown a touchdown pass to Decker for 4 yards.
And they're not built to play from behind, trailing by 21 in the fourth quarter with Geno Smith. They're going to really open it up, crank it up here a little bit. Let this guy throw the ball down the field, take some chances.
Chip shot, and caught by Cumberland, who's on the up end. And then Tywan Jones grabs him and brings him down along with defensive back Keith McGill. 18-yard return. Thursday, your weekend starts with the backyard brawl. The Browns, the Bengals. Thursday night football only on NFL Network. And a fourth quarter come-from-behind win today for Cincinnati. That's what they take into that game. And look at the lead they've got over 4-4 Pittsburgh.
It's really a well-rounded team. The quarterback's having a terrific season. The defense is one of the best in football. And they're sound in the kicking game.
On the 29, first and 10. Ferguson holds off with the left tackle block. Catch is made by Curley. The tackle was made by Larry Asante. It's a gain of 9. He's up to the 38.
One of the problems the Jets have in the passing game, Kevin, is they don't really use the tight ends. Tight ends are virtually non-existent when it comes to the passing game. Look at these numbers. Just 3 catches all season out of that position.
Go. Ivy on second and 1. What a nice penetrating move by Danico Autry, who also has a sack today. That's the 5th time that Ivory has been thrown for a loss on a run today.
Well, he is just going to split the gap between the center and the guard. Chris Ivory has nowhere to go with the football, and you can see the frustration out of Chris Ivory.
13 carries for Ivory, 17 yards. There's a guy who's averaging over 100. Number 3 in average per game in the NFL. 3rd and 6. Coming through again. Smith gets it off. Tompkins makes the grab. They'll put him at the 44. He was brought down on the play by defensive back Nico Thorpe. It is a gain of 8. The Jet first down to the 43.
This is nice anticipation by Geno Smith. Gets that ball out there well before the receiver is out of his break.
Run, get to 53. Go.
First and 10. And open Marshall. Pushed out of bounds by David Amerson. And they are into Raider territory at the 48-yard line, 47-yard line, gain of 9.
Geno's got to continue to be aggressive. Essentially, it's 4-down territory the rest of the game, trailing by 21. You got to know that. Throwing the ball away here, not the worst thing in the world. Just can't afford to take sacks in these situations.
Marshall's got 5 catches and 72 yards today for the New York Jets. 2nd down and 1.
Go.
Marshall again. Asante again. Gain of 4 to the 44.
You know, the thing I like about Brandon Marshall, Kevin, we talked about it earlier, he holds his teammates accountable. He's not afraid to speak his mind. And I think the Jets need something like that. They need a person like that on the offensive side of the ball. They have plenty on the defensive side of the ball.
Well, for Denver, Miami, Chicago, and now the Jets. First and 10 here for Geno Smith, who's looking inside. I think he heard the footsteps of Emerson. Incomplete.
Well, Emerson sees it the whole way. He's off. He's got a beat on it, and Brandon Marshall has the alligator arms there at the end. He's not going to go in there and get rocked.
Like we said earlier, he was just signed off the street back on September 22nd, David Amerson, after getting cut by Washington. He was originally a 2nd-round draft choice by the Redskins.
Reggie McKenzie's done a really nice job putting this roster together. It wasn't easy. frustrating early on, but they're starting to field a pretty competitive team here in Oakland.
Tompkins on the move, 2nd down and 10. Now he's on the run, needs the 34. Got it, and he's going down the sideline. He gets by Asante, and he's drilled by Emerson.
Well, you love this competitiveness from Geno Smith, but you can't take this hit at the end of the play. Remember now, who's going to go play quarterback if you get knocked out? I like the fact that he pulls it down, he escapes pressure. Now we see his speed and his playmaking ability. Now but be smart right here. You can't take that hit from Emerson. What happens if you get knocked out? That was a knockout shot by David Emerson.
Now he's got to collect himself with a 1st and 10 at the 15. Smith. Incomplete flag on Thorpe as they were going for Tompkins.
Pass interference, defense, number 31. The ball is placed at the 1-yard line, 1st down.
Well, nice job by Geno giving him a chance. The defensive back, Thorpe, never sees the ball. This is going to get interesting, Kevin. Score here. It's a 2-score game with just a little over 9 minutes to go.
1st and goal. Davis in motion. Bohannon is in. And they go to the leap. He can't get it. Emerson was watching Marshall. 2nd and goal.
Marshall has it initially, just can't squeeze it, and Emerson's doing a really nice job trying to rip and strip, trying to pull that right arm away from Brandon Marshall.
Last week, New England doubled Marshall quite a bit. And that impacted the effectiveness of the offense.
Look who they have over here now. Charles Woodson.
2nd and goal at the 1. Ivory digging, turning to the 1. And back to the line of scrimmage. 3rd and goal.
This is where the Raiders are so much better than run defense. Alden Smith has helped. Mack. You look at the linebackers, Curtis Lofton, Malcolm Smith's having a terrific season. They used to get pushed around in this part of the field. Not anymore.
Third and goal. Smith. And caught for a touchdown. Grabbed by the tight end, Kellen Davis. First reception of the season. And the second touchdown pass thrown by Smith today in relief of the injured Fitzpatrick.
Well, he's going to block first, and then he comes out late. This is a really nice job by Geno Smith, exercising some patience. He tries to run for it first. He realizes he can't get there. He's not going to be able to beat Autry. He does a nice job finding Kellen Davis in the back of the end zone for the score.
Davis was signed as an unrestricted free agent from Detroit. It's his 13th career touchdown reception. Just the 52nd reception overall in an 8-year career. And he caught one heavily covered in the back with 8:37 to go in the fourth. Nick Folk. Oakland 34, the Jets 20. Well, there are some big plays, but none bigger than the 29-yard run by Smith, who took a beating, but collected himself, and he finds the tight end Davis in the back of the end zone working on Mack.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon. Watch live primetime games with NFL Mobile only on Verizon. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. And by Acura, the leading automotive brand in safety performance.
On this sunny day in the Bay Area, Lombard Street is packed as always. Geno Smith coming in for the injured Fitzpatrick. 20 of 27, 185. 2 touchdowns and a pick. You can look and see the numbers on that drive, the 29-yard run. In some momentum, a 1-yard touchdown pass to Davis, and now the Jets will kick off trailing by 2 touchdowns.
Kick it deep here. Kick it deep and play some defense.
And that's exactly what they do. Kick it deep. And deep back is Seth Roberts.
Well, Derek Carr has played so well, Kevin. I think it's worthy of a game ball. 22 of 30, 331 yards, 4 touchdowns. He found Holmes early. Crabtree makes a great play after the catch. Andre Holmes, perfect throw against Antonio Cromartie. Tight coverage. You see the safety over the top, and finally he gets a little bit of a break here. Some good fortune. Kicking the ball wide to Taiwan Jones. He makes a number of players miss and goes 59 yards for the score. Some big-time numbers. Look at that career high, 4 touchdowns. He has looked so comfortable and poised in the pocket.
He's thrown 30 times. He has not been sacked today. Touchback to the 21st and 10 for Carr. Running back Murray with over 100 yards on the ground. Here he goes again. Reeling over to the left side and loses maybe a half-yard on the play. Harrison makes the stop, no gain.
Well, I think Derek Carr may turn out to be the steal of the draft last year. Kevin, look at these other quarterbacks. All went in the first round. You know, Bortles has shown some flashes, but he's been very inconsistent. Manziel plays on a bad team, and he's not even playing. And Teddy Bridgewater had put up very modest numbers, in my opinion, through the first 16, 17 games of his career. I think he played in 12 games last year. But Carr has been consistent from the get-go. He's got more talent around him than he had last year, and he's putting up some big numbers.
Here's a second down and 10. Wilkerson's on the tail of Carr and throws it away, looking for Latavius Murray. Marcus Williams is covering, but Big Mohamed Wilkerson was applying the pressure.
Carr's not a big scrambler. He's really a pure pocket passer. You know, Al Davis would have loved this guy. A guy that can throw the ball deep, not some vagabond like myself here, just sat in there, dinked and dunked. This guy can push the ball down the field. And Al Davis always loved the vertical passing game. This is an Al Davis type of quarterback.
Well, Raiders have passed on every third down situation today, 3rd and 10.
Be a big stop for the Jets here.
They go outside to Holmes. He dropped it. Cromartie was in the vicinity. Would have been good for a first down. Drop pass for a guy that's caught 2 touchdown passes today from Derek Carr. It is the first 3 and out. Here comes the punting unit.
Great anticipation by Carr. Not a perfect throw, but one that Holmes has to make. It's a big 3 and out for the Jets defensively. They're going to get really good field position here as well.
Curley is back for Marquette King.
It was rusty. It's cold.
See if the warm-ups have been paying off. Curley from the 41. Flags all over the field. Tackle was made by Ray Armstrong. Hang time of 4-9. So count 3 flags on the field. 39-yard punt, 4-yard return. Here's Bobby April, who's the longtime special teams coach in the NFL, and now with the New York Jets. Here we are heading in November.
Illegal block in the back by the receiving team, number 55. 10-yard penalty enforced from the spot of the foul. The Jets will keep the 10-yard penalty enforced from the spot of the foul. The Jets will keep the ball, first down.
That's rookie linebacker Lorenzo Malden.
Can't do it. Can't do it. Premeditated. Those mistakes will kill you.
Hey, 42, yellow team, 42. Sailor 53.
After the 3 and out by the Raiders, here comes a 1st and 10 from the 35 for Geno Smith. It's Ivory with no place to run, no place to hide. Brought down initially by Stacy McGee and a loss of a yard back to the 34. All right, coming up next in New York, time permitting, the Subway postgame show. JB and company have a look at injuries and scores and news and standings and highlights, and gets ready for the Thursday night game coming up on NFL Network. It's all on the Subway postgame show. Time permitting from New York, 2nd down and 11. They empty the backfield for Smith. Brandon Marshall. DJ Carey with a shove out of bounds by Emerson. Works the sideline and takes it up to the 44-yard line with a gain of 10. 3rd and 1 with a look at Chan Gailey.
Yeah, it's a pretty good work there when you look at the last 4 possessions for the Jets. And if you're the Jets, you've got to be able to win the one-on-one matchups. The Raiders play a high percentage of man-to-man in these situations.
53.
Somebody's got to win.
Raiders have 6 defensive backs. 3rd and long 1. Giacomini with the block at the right tackle. Flag is thrown. Marshall holds on. He got right in front of Carey. The ball to about the 45-yard line of Oakland. Flag at the 44.
Talk about a catching radius. That's what Brandon Marshall gets.
You talk about that a lot.
Well, you love the bigger receivers, guys that can go get it in the tight windows. Guy that's 6'4", it's 230 pounds.
11-yard gain as it stands.
Illegal hands to the face, defense, number 38. That was before the pass was thrown. Therefore, the foul is declined. The play results in a first down.
You see him get grabbed there. Think about Brandon Marshall. Coming into this game, he had converted 39 of his last 40 third down receptions. That's the guy they want to go to on 3rd down.
We got 5.
He's a 3rd down machine for the Jets.
1st and 10 from the 45.
Go.
Goes in the dirt. Wisely had a lot of pressure coming on him. From one side, he had Armstrong. On the other side, he had Autry. This is about the time last week that the Raiders began to lose a little gas down in San Diego after a monstrous lead.
Yeah, they built that early lead, and then they kind of ran out of gas late in the game, and you got a team in the Jets that's not going to give up. They're going to fight to the finish. You know, Geno Smith, this is 4-down football the rest of the way. And throwing the ball away on 1st down when you're trying to screen and the Raiders cover it, it's a good play. Stops the clock. It gives you a chance to regather. And
2nd down 10, quick slant, Marshall. Nico Thorpe was on him, and they ruled incomplete at the 42 unless he... I'm going to say there was somebody picking it up for the Raiders, and down is Marshall. The 2nd time. Incomplete pass, 3rd and 10 coming up.
I don't know that he ever holds on to it. He had it initially. He was trying to grab it. Really a terrific job there by
Nico
Thorpe. Yeah, he's able to pull away. He's pulling and tugging at that left arm of Brandon Marshall, making it difficult for him to make the catch.
Marshall has 578 yards coming into today. He's got 8 catches for 97. In the term of Rex Ryan, they never had a 1,000-yard receiver. Right now he's on a pace. Marshall is for over 1,500 receiving yards. They're going to challenge that it maybe was a catch and a fumble and a recovery by the Raiders. But 2 officials were waving it off after the hit. But the flag has been thrown by Jack Del Rio.
The official said it wasn't a catch.
Yeah, one hesitated, one waved it off.
Oakland is challenging and ruling on the field that the pass was incomplete.
Marshall walks off gingerly. That will be reviewed here in Oakland.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Spectre, in theaters November 6th. And by Subway. Come in for National Sandwich Day, Tuesday, November 3rd.
And Hockley has looked at the play. He has talked to New York, and here is his call on the challenge by the Raiders.
Confirmed. The receiver caught the ball in the process of going to the ground, and the ball came out when it hit the ground. Therefore, by rule, he never had possession. Incomplete pass.
Mike Carey is our expert in New York, and Mike, you watched the play. What did you think?
Yes, the rule is if the receiver is going to the ground, he must maintain control of the ball all the way through the process of going to the ground. The defender hits him, taking him to the ground before his 2nd step. That puts it in that category. The ball's out, incomplete, right call.
Mike, thank you. Here's a 3rd and 10 coming up for the Jets. We talked about at the very top of the show, but they had a first-time starter at center today. Wesley Johnson taking the place of the injured Nick Mangold. Only one sack allowed by that Jet offensive line. Marshall is on the sideline after the injury. 3rd and 10. It's Jack Stacy, and he is shy of the first, running after the catch to the 38, picking up 7. 4th and 3. And as you said earlier, 4 down territory.
4 down territory. And Kevin, they've had a difficult time pushing the ball down the field. 22 completions, 23 completions. Now only one has gone for more than 20 yards. But still, you've got 5:50, you've got all 3 timeouts, and you've already crossed midfield. They don't have to panic, but they've got some good looks now. They've got some favorable looks versus one-on-one coverage and single high safety.
Marshall still out. 4th and 3. They come through, incomplete. Zeroing in on Tompkins with the coverage on the play by Emerson, among others, for the Raiders. So on downs, it goes to Oakland. A flag has been thrown.
Holding offense number 66. The penalty is declined.
Really Cologne.
Oakland's ball, first down.
And he was not 100% today with a knee injury. 7 plays on downs, they lose it.
Yeah, you're going to see Cologne, and great penetration. And he just gets beat right off the ball by Autry. He has nothing else he can do. Just grab. He knows that Autry's going to beat him right to the quarterback. Well, you would have liked to have seen a better design on 4th down. Gino really had no chance there. I hate the fact that he was falling away from the throw.
Jets have 3 timeouts. Raiders have 2.
Down!
It's 1st and 10.
Blue 80! What's up?
Here comes Case. There goes the pass to Walford, the tight end. Clive Walford makes the grab, tackled by David Harris near the 40-yard line and picks up 2.
You just see the Raiders come out throwing the football. Bill Musgrave's got all the confidence in the world in his young quarterback. He's going to do the right thing in a critical situation. I really appreciate that about Bill Musgrave. Not being conservative, he's being aggressive with his young quarterback.
Cromartie has just hopped off the field to the far sideline of the Jets.
Cooper's been quiet.
So Revis and Walls will take the place of Cromartie. 4 in the secondary, 2nd down and 8. Oh, Wilkerson, big play. Backs him up. There's a timeout. Good usage right there. Muhammad Wilkerson throws him for a loss of 2. Back to the 38.
You're going to start using them earlier now because you need 2 scores to get back in this thing. You're going to stop here on 3rd down. Chance to get the ball back. Save some time.
Well, as we head into this month of November, today being the first, 2 teams with playoff thoughts right now. 2nd place, New York at 4 and 2. Oakland, 2nd place in the West at 3 and 3. Jets lost their starting quarterback, but they had coming into today rich uncertainty because of injuries at several positions on the line, at receiver, at running back, in the secondary. The biggest blow, the most stark in this game, was the loss of Ryan Fitzpatrick earlier. Ligament issue in his left thumb, his non-throwing hand. Taken out immediately, and Geno Smith came in 23 of 33, 213 with the touchdown, 2 of them, and a pick. 3rd and 10 here for David Carr, for Derek Carr. Carr has thrown 4 touchdown passes today. And looking for traps for incomplete. Walls are over there covering, as we mentioned. Cromartie is out. Derek Carr can't hit him. It's 4th down. The punting unit will take the field.
Well, Derek Carr had him. He just can't hold it enough. He's got to let it go early. He's not able to anticipate exactly where Crabtree's going to be.
There's a look at Curley, and there's a look at Marquette King. 2nd straight 3 and out for the Raiders.
Jets defense has done their job the last 2 series. Need a big play now in the return game.
Let's just bounce it back in and out. And inside the 15, let's see if they spot it. They'll put it at about the 17, 18-yard line. 44-yard punt from Marquette King. Alex Flanagan on the sideline.
where Antonio Cromartie and Brandon Marshall both sitting next to each other on the bench as the trainers wrap Brandon Marshall's left foot. It looks like it might be a bit of an ankle issue. He took his foot off, had it re-wrapped on the inside and the outside of the foot. He just put his helmet back on, and I think he'll be going back into the game.
All right, thank you. And here we go with Geno Smith, 2 Jet timeouts. We started at the 18. With the hands of the running back, Ivory. With the coverage on the play by T.J. Carey, 2nd and 10.
They don't even block Alden Smith. I mean, this is it's tough on the quarterback when you don't block a guy that's probably the Raiders' best pass rusher.
Join the Raiders on September 11th. 5th start for them after being let go by San Francisco.
Now you need Brandon Marshall, Kevin. He's their speed demon. He's the guy that can create some separation. They don't have a lot of speed on the field right now without Marshall.
2nd and 10, looking for Decker. Grabbed by Thorpe and wheels around and up near the 26 with a gain of 8.
Decker's more of a possession receiver, and he's not gonna run by anybody in the secondary.
Again, Marshall watching. He's starting quarterback watching. 3rd and 2. They need the 28. And he's shoved out of bounds by Hayden. Back at the 18. 2nd sack.
And they don't even know that Geno's not even aware the clock is still running. I mean, there's got to be a sense of urgency. You can't take a sack in that situation. You got to throw the ball away.
It is 4th down, and they do bring out the punting unit.
I don't understand why they're punting here, Kevin. They're down by 2 scores,
right.
And you're inside 4 minutes. I mean, by punting the ball back to the Raiders, you just essentially saying to yourself, there's no way you're going to get 2 more possessions out of this game. Don't understand the decision there by Todd Bowles.
This is Carey off the foot of Quigley. With a lot of people around him and a 4-yard return with a 52-yard Quigley punt. And our 4th quarter clock at 3:19.
Well, you just watch Geno Smith here, just not aware of the situation in the game. He's going to get knocked backwards. You see the official on the sideline. He's right there in the middle. He's winding the clock. Geno's got to hustle. There's got to be a sense of urgency. Understand situational football, especially late in games in a critical situation. If you're the Raiders here, Kevin, you run it a couple, 3 times. You force the Jets to use those final 2 timeouts.
Running back Latavius Murray, 19 carries, 12 yards on the ground today. The flag has been thrown as Derek Carter was down the sideline. Yep, Walford was being chased down the sideline by Marcus Gilchrist with another flag.
I don't agree with that. Make the Jets use their timeouts in this situation.
The Eagles shift offense. There were 2 men moving at the same time. The penalty is declined. Brings up 2nd down.
So 2nd and 10.
I think you run it twice.
31-yard line.
You run the ball twice. Make the Jets use some of those timeouts. Really surprised they threw the ball there on 1st down.
Murray's been reliable today in the backfield. He's back there now with Olawale.
What's up?
He's blocked by Jackson. Murray takes it out to the 32. And from behind, brought down by Leonard Williams after a gain of a yard. Jets have just taken another timeout. They've got 1 remaining and 3:10 to play in the 4th. Rich talked about this earlier. Next week, a game at Pittsburgh. And the Steelers losing today, so they're 4-4. And if the Raiders go on to win, they'll be 4-3.
I think Jack Del Rio's done a really fine job with this football team. Just his first year in the job. He's put together a great staff, a staff that features so many former players at the NFL level. Jack played in the NFL. His offensive coordinator, Bill Musgrave, played. Defensive coordinator, Ken Norton Jr. played. Rob Moore, Bernie Plummerly, Marcus Robertson, Rod Woodson. It's different when Rod Woodson is a Hall of Famer. he makes a correction. You know, he's one of those guys that has the yellow jacket. That gets your attention.
Yes.
Mike Tice.
Murray in motion out of the backfield, 39. And that's off the fingertips of Cooper.
That was a bad sequence of plays for the Raiders, Kevin. That's just really bad football by the Raiders. They didn't like the play call on first down. Now you've got a situation on third down. Cooper just really hesitates coming off the line of scrimmage. Revis is right there. And a poor throw by Derek Carr. Letting the Jets hang around. Bad things happen when you let a team hang around late in the fourth quarter.
Well, the third consecutive 3 and out for the Oakland Raiders. Marquette King once again to punt. Curley back at about the 20. And returnable back at the 16 with a hang time of 4-1. Curley's long return this year has been 22 yards on a punt. Olawale brings him down. 52-yard punt and 6-yard return by Curley of the Jets. And for those of you expecting to see 60 minutes, you're watching the NFL on CBS in the game between the New York Jets and the Oakland Raiders. It is a lead of 34-20. Raiders right now, late fourth. 60 minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately following the game, except on the West Coast, where it'll be seen at its normally scheduled time.
How about that last possession, offensive possession by the Raiders, Kevin? They ran 25 seconds, just 25 seconds off the play clock.
Brandon Marshall is in the game now. First and 10 from the 21. And they go for Marshall. A little bit high, and on the ricochet, no interception made by Emerson. High throw by Geno Smith.
Or at least they're pushing the ball down the field. You got him. You got to be able to make that throw. You got to put it on him. Tough to overthrow a guy at 6'4".
Now you're talking about his catching radius moments ago.
He looks a little gimpy too, though. You know, he's still not 100%. Saw him a moment ago get that foot wrap.
Hold.
Second down 10. Stacy is in. Mack is chasing. Mack gets him. Back near the 11.
You can't do this. Talk about being aware of situational football. Throw the ball away. If you've got nobody open, throw it away. You can't take a sack in this situation. No idea what Geno Smith's thinking in that situation.
And the clock just continues to roll down. Now 3rd and 21. After that third sack by the defense of the Raiders. And a loss of 11.
How deep they are in the secondary.
2-minute warning. Jets down by 14 points in the fourth in Oakland. Reminding you tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes and the discovery of a rare piece of American history, followed by new episodes of Madam Secretary, The Good Wife, and CSI Cyber. Only CBS. 3rd and 21. Jets have a timeout. Oakland has 2. Marshall remains in the game. 3rd and 21. They need the 32. Draw play. Stacy. Brought down by Smith on a gain of 2.
That's an interesting call. That you've got 3rd and 21. You run a draw. What am I missing?
So it's 4th and 19.
This is a bad sequence, a really bad sequence of series in the last 2 offenses. The Raiders did a poor job with their possession. This has been awful for the Jets.
Slade gets away and throws, and it is caught by Decker for a first down at the 34-yard line. Picks up 22 on 4th and 19.
Got a ways to go. You can't even get lined up.
Decker with 6 catches and 61 yards. And a 4-yard touchdown reception earlier. 1st and 10. Smith. Tompkins. Hit by Thorpe.
Got to use that timeout. Other ways to stop the clock. You got to take the timeout in this situation.
They just do. 46-yard line. They get another first down. Gain of 12 right there.
There's other ways to stop the clock. You can clock it, incompletion, getting out of bounds. You waste way too much time trying to get lined up. But now they've really got to push the ball down the field, Kevin. They've got to take some shots. Got to give these receivers a chance to make a play. Down the field. The dinking and dunking, that's what the Raiders are going to allow you to do. They're going to play soft, and they're going to play off and force you to throw the ball underneath.
I'm going to tell you, both teams look gassed, Rich. They look tired.
I don't know why they're tired. You and I were in San Francisco 2 weeks ago, London last week, back here in Oakland. We're not tired.
First and 10. And they go for Marshall.
Got to get out of bounds.
He does. Thorpe got him. First down reception.
You got a quarterback down.
And Smith is waylaid.
This will cause him. This will be an official's timeout, a fourth timeout.
It's an injury, so a 10-second runoff. We saw this with the Jets last week in New England.
Just watch Geno Smith. He's going to get hit here right at the end.
Oh, Ray Armstrong.
Puts his helmet right in his chest. To Brickashaw, Ferguson, Lakehead. Now, I think he just knocks the wind out of him. Now the question is, who's Ryan Fitzpatrick's going to come in and try and... He's been standing around there for the last 2 hours doing nothing.
With that thumb.
He'll obviously be in the shotgun. He can't be under center with that left thumb. Of course, he can't really even protect himself with that left hand.
Since the play went out of bounds, there would not be a 10-second runoff.
There would be a 10-second runoff, Kevin, if the clock was still running.
Right.
So in this situation, they'll be provided a fourth timeout, if you will.
Slow to get up. Those are the numbers in relief of the injured Fitzpatrick.
Now, if they have another one, if they had another injury timeout in this situation, you'd get a fifth timeout, but then there would be a 10-second runoff, even if the clock was stopped.
Exactly.
See what Ryan Fitzpatrick's got, Kevin. Standing around for 2.5 hours. Let's see if he can pump one down the field.
I know what he doesn't have, and that's any timeouts. They're out.
Well, they've got the ball now at the 43-yard line, 44-yard line. He's got to throw it down the field. Got to take shots down the field.
First and 10.
Catch the ball first if you're Fitzpatrick.
Further underneath. Oh, we got a nice block from Wesley Johnson, the new center, and look at him miss as he's finally hit and brought. There's a flag late. Smith
that helps
finally
out
brought him
too.
down. That's a catch and run at 26 yards.
That's on the defense. That's going to stop the clock. Gives the Jets a chance to line up and get another play call.
Illegal block in the back by the offense, number 30. The 10-yard penalty will be enforced at the end of the run. First down.
Yeah, he's going to see him coming right there at the end. It's not even necessary. I mean, he should have pulled off earlier. Zach Stacy just getting a little bit aggressive.
Still a first down enforced from the end of the run at the 28-yard line of the Raiders.
Stops the clock and gives him a chance to get the play dialed up. They'll start the clock on the ready.
Fitzpatrick in with the injured Smith. And this is deflected by defensive back Larry Asante and incomplete. Second and 10. Seven defensive backs are back there. There is Geno Smith.
He's back in.
Yep. Oof.
Not been a good day for the Jets quarterbacks.
Came in banged up as it was anyway. Guys were injured, still playing today. Denver, second down and 10 here. Geno Smith. Back in. Chased by Malcolm Smith. They're going for Brandon Marshall. And it was broken up on the play by DJ Hayden.
Brandon Marshall has to keep coming back to the football. Watch what into this route. He's going to stop. He's going to sit there and wait. Now watch Hayden. Hayden's working all the way back. He actually undercuts him. Brandon Marshall has to keep working back to the football. Can't get lazy at the top of your route.
Marshall today, 108 yards receiving on 9 catches. 3rd down and 10.
Ho! Rocky.
Rush from Smith. Short for Cumberland. Coverage downfield by Carey.
Was hurt again.
Little shot to the midsection. That looks like he's holding on to his left hand. 4th and 10.
Boy, the Raiders, I'll tell you what, they're getting some hits on the quarterback. I don't even know what happened there.
Well, they converted 4th and 19. You may recall earlier on the drive, so 4th and 10. They need the Oakland 18. No timeouts, 29 seconds to go.
Surprised the Raiders are just playing one single high safety.
And Smith for Marshall and dropped at the 2. Thorpe the coverage. And on downs, the Raiders get it. Jets out of timeouts. And Oakland is going to go to 4 and 3.
And there you go. That's the game, Raider Nation. Thank you for joining us on another edition of Black Friday. As always, we appreciate any time you spend with us here at Raider Reaction. New and old, our band of pirates. Thank you for joining us. I'm out. Peace, love, Raider Nation.